So I had to come back to one of our old favourites, Lip Bartar. He is an incredible fingerstyle acoustic player, and I've reacted to a few of his videos before. He's amazing. And I saw recently, and I've not watched it yet, that he's uploaded a cover of the 1970 song Dust in the Wind by the American rock band Kansas. If you don't know the original song by Kansas, it's a classic. Go and check it out. I'll put the link to the original song and to a Lips cover down in the description below. But it's an incredible song. It's really profound. It's about how life is kind of like dust in the wind. You can't capture it. It's only kind of a load of small moments which build up to be what represents a life worth living, a lifetime essentially. I'm really interested to see how Alip has taken this and put his own spin on it and probably made it into the usual kind of really complicated, sort of beautiful, delicate, sort of instrumental piece that he makes using fingerstyle guitar.
Ooh, I'm already noticing some changes from how I know the song. Okay, so already in this beginning, normally we would keep this chord C, the same, but he's adding this fourth in the key and making it a little bit more colorful and interesting. So far, subtly playing around, adding little changes and details that many people may not even notice. By the way, I love the broken wall behind him and the cigarette.
Oh. It's just incredibly precise. I've just got to stop it there and say I'm already blown away. So as well as that original kind of fingerstyle opening that we're used to hearing, which is in the original song, he combines that with the melody from the singing. So he's doing these open chord shapes. You can see him playing a C and then kind of like a suspended C, an A minor and a C.
You can tell when someone's really like so advanced in guitar that it's not only he plays it effortlessly as in the tune, but he also adds these little changes. He's sort of messing about. He's like playing with you a little bit. Oh, look, I can do this with it as well. Woo, da-di-do-dee, da-di-do-dee, you know. I'm also noticing that my guitar is slightly differently tuned than his. So it sounds a little bit off. And also notice that he's using a different pickup than on his older videos. He used to have this microphone attached to the guitar, and the sound was a little bit more true to how the guitar would actually sound in the room when you would be with him, whereas here he's using this magnetic pickup.
Suspended A sort of shape in the intro and then changing between some of these kind of quite well-known open chords, and then suddenly brings in quick movements and runs and slides, and that's following the exact kind of vocal line of the singer. So the singer kind of goes, I close my eyes, da 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 da, and that exact kind of vocal line.
Very nice and subtle. These little flicks.
Is what's followed, but he manages to do that and keep going the strumming pattern, alternating the kind of picking on the right hand and keeping this dun 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 finger picking thing. which is incredibly impressive. The song in itself, if you're kind of learning guitar, is a challenging one, taking on this sort of Travis finger picking type thing where you're alternating, where your thumb is picking on the strings and then playing with your fingers. But to do that and then add in all what the kind of singer is singing is incredibly impressive, and the way he keeps it all in time and smooth is amazing. Let's get back to it.
It's great from the master of strings, god of harmonics. Brilliant presentation right there. And you know, there was one thing that I noticed that was constant, and it is really great. It's not easy to do. I'm not sure if anybody know Alip Bata sits there all comfortably.
Some of these shapes are incredible, how quickly he moves between them.
Playing the song, and his guitar is smoking while he's doing that because the guitar is freaking hot, you know. But there was a constant timing, a constant beat, time signature was happening while he was playing, and it never stopped. It was constantly through the song. Those bass notes and that bass line was constant, and then his fingers were moving like some little spider legs all over the guitar board, melody and chords and everything going at the same time. This Alip Bata is just superb. He's brilliant. He's a mastermind on these strings. But what I was hearing is something like this.
Some of the stretches on those chords there were incredible, and you could notice it was bringing in some sort of dissonant feeling. Like the chords weren't clearly happy or sad. It was this kind of in-between feeling, you know, like they make you feel you're not sure what you feel about them, you're not sure what they mean until you hear the chord that follows. And what I really love about that in the context of this song is the song is quite profound. It's about life. It's about how life is kind of both beautiful and kind of impermanent, right? It's over very quickly, but then it's all these beautiful moments that only last.
And you can see here's a cord, here's a cable coming out of the guitar. So the sound is a little bit more like you can literally hear more of the strings because it's picking up the strings underneath the in the guitar sound hole. For me personally, I actually preferred his old sound. And also this arrangement is kind of like easygoing, nothing so special, but a lot of nuance and details to appreciate.
Kind of a short period, but then they're gone. But all of those beautiful things together are what life is. So it really feels like he's channeled into the kind of meaning and feeling of the song with how he's moving through the chord changes. It's really beautiful. And what I noticed, as well as doing that kind of alternating picking on his right hand that I mentioned with his thumb, you could see there as well a standard thing that some finger picking players do, where he was bringing his thumb on his kind of left hand, the one that's on the neck, and bringing his thumb down onto the bass E string, so the thick E string on top of the guitar, and that way you can play notes on the top whilst having your other fingers at the bottom.
Very steady thumb, perfectly. Here, this is like a different version of the A minor chord. So A minor chord is usually here. By the way, notice that he often holds it with these two fingers flipped, I mean. This is something I would tell off my students for. But yeah, Yeah, but he switches it. It's based on what he needs for the specific line. This is a very interesting inversion of A minor chord. So it's a 10, 9, 10 frets on D, G, and B consecutively. And now let's listen to this chromatic line. Here he goes. Pulls off on the B string. G second fret, open B, first fret, third fret on B, and then chromatically on E string, open string, first fret, second fret, third fret.
And it just means you can kind of have this light and dark. You can have these dark kind of lower bass notes and the lighter chord. So as an example of this, and this is more of a kind of beginner to intermediate player thing compared to some of the other crazy stuff he's done. But there was one point where he had a D chord, he was playing a D major, and then with his thumb he was over the bass string and holding down the second fret. So that's a D major slash F sharp, because it's a D major, but the lowest note is this F sharp is holding on his thumb. And it's just things like that, little kind of details that he's added, and these dissonant stretching chords that make this so impressive and ultimately give it the right feeling, because I think this is such a big song for profoundness and depth of kind of feeling of what life's about. Wow. I think that's the violin part.
All of that. He was doing some of that things, and it was crazy because that was constantly through the song, non-stop for what, 3+ minutes, 3 minutes 26 seconds. He was just constantly and he was just going on and on, chords, melody, bass line, and the pulse just kept on going, and he never dropped off the beat. He's like a human, what do you call it? My goodness, it is slipping me.
If you're a guitarist, try to use these techniques. It's actually easier than it looks, and it adds a lot of character to your play. You know, hammer on and pull off, and those sliding to a chord.
And surprised that he's managed to make the video more impressive as it goes on. So in the original song, if I remember rightly, another singer comes in and they have kind of like battling vocals or kind of like harmony vocals, and it adds extra to this idea, this kind of realization where Dust in the Wind is kind of getting more intense, the idea and sort of profound nature of the song. And Alip in this is kind of like, he's playing the same fingerstyle pattern in a way, but he's adding a lot more frills. You know, he's adding a lot more filling notes in and kind of a lot more slides and a lot more frenetic playing where he's quickly jumping between parts, and that builds up as the song goes on. And again, that adds amazingly to the feeling of the song, this feeling of like getting more frustrated about being dust in the wind, or maybe becoming more aware of it, the fact that like life is a transient thing to be celebrated, but something that we can't keep hold of, we can't stop the kind of aging process, and everything's going but at a kind of rate where we just have to accept it and let go. And this kind of way of writing the kind of instrumental music, I feel like you can feel that even if you don't have the words, you can feel the feeling of like the tension building up and this realization without even knowing what the words of the song are. It's really impressive, and it kind of shows how the kind of tempo and kind of speed and the sort of how the notes fit together, how that relates to the feeling of So. Beautiful harmonic to finish.
Slowing down slightly.
Ketika petikan awal, Dust in the Wind, mulai terdengar, ketiga reaktor langsung terdiam dan fokus sepenuhnya pada alunan gitar Alip bata, nada-nada yang mengalir terasa ringan namun syarat makna, menciptakan suasana reflektif yang menenangkan. Permainan itu seolah mengajak pendengar untuk berhenti sejenak dan merenungkan setiap detik yang berlalu. Alur melodi yang konsisten membuat mereka semakin larut dalam suasana. Setiap petikan terdengar jernih, tidak tergesa, dan penuh keseimbangan. Ada kesan rapuh namun indah yang muncul dari cara Alip bata menjaga ritme, membuat lagu ini terasa seperti bisikan lembut yang menyentuh sisi terdalam perasaan. Saat harmoni mulai berkembang, ekspresi ketiga reaktor berubah menjadi semakin takzim. Mereka mengikuti pergerakan jari Alip bata yang begitu tenang namun presisi. Nada-nada yang berulang tidak terasa monoton, justru membangun atmosfer kontemplatif yang kian kuat dari waktu ke waktu. Permainan gitar yang minim namun berkarakter menghadirkan ruang bagi emosi untuk bernapas. Tidak ada nada yang dipaksakan, semuanya mengalir alami dan terasa jujur. Ketiga reaktor tampak menikmati setiap jeda kecil di antara petikan, seolah jeda itu sendiri memiliki makna tersendiri. Ketika bagian tengah lagu dimainkan, nuansa sendu terasa semakin pekat. Melodi gitar terdengar seperti percakapan sunyi tentang kefanaan dan waktu. Reaksi yang muncul bukan dalam bentuk kata-kata, melainkan dalam tatapan kosong yang penuh perenungan. Menjelang akhir lagu, sentuhan gitar Alip bata semakin lembut dan halus. Dinamika yang menurun perlahan menciptakan rasa damai, seakan lagu ini mengantar pendengarnya menuju kesadaran yang lebih tenang. Ketiga reaktor tetap terdiam, enggan melewatkan satu nada pun. Saat petikan terakhir menghilang, suasana hening menyelimuti momen tersebut. Ketiga reaktor masih terpaku, meresapi kesan yang tertinggal dari alunan gitar itu. Penampilan ini terasa bukan sekadar musik, melainkan pengalaman sunyi yang membekas dan sulit dilupakan. Itulah lur untuk reaksi kali ini. Sampai jumpa lagi di video lainnya bersama channel Rafiko. Admin ucapkan terima kasih telah menonton.